The turquoise waters shimmered, promising relaxation and joy. The sun was high in the sky, casting a golden glow over the pristine beach. Children laughed and played, their carefree spirits adding to the idyllic scene. It was the perfect setting for a family vacation, or so we thought. Palm trees swayed in the gentle breeze, whispering tales of paradise. The rhythmic sound of the waves crashing against the shore was like a soothing lullaby, inviting us to leave our worries behind. The air was filled with the scent of salt and tropical flowers, a heady mix that promised adventure and relaxation. We had arrived at our destination, a secluded island resort, ready for a family vacation. The resort was a hidden gem, nestled away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It was a place where we could reconnect as a family, away from the distractions of work and school. The excitement was palpable as we checked in, our minds filled with visions of sun-soaked days and starry nights. My husband, Mark, radiated happiness, his eyes twinkling with anticipation. He had been looking forward to this trip for months, meticulously planning every detail to ensure we had the perfect getaway. His enthusiasm was infectious, and I couldn't help but feel a surge of optimism as we settled into our room. Little did I know, this tropical paradise was about to become my battleground. The first sign of trouble came when I noticed Brittany's sullen expression. She had been quiet on the plane, but I had chalked it up to typical teenage moodiness. Now, her discontent was impossible to ignore. The source of the conflict? My 16-year-old stepdaughter, Brittany. She had always been a bit of a challenge, but this was different. Her attitude was more than just teenage rebellion. It was a storm brewing on the horizon, threatening to ruin our carefully planned vacation. From the moment we stepped off the plane, Brittany was a storm cloud in our sunny paradise. Her frown deepened with every step, and her silence was deafening. It was as if she had decided to make it her mission to be as miserable as possible, and to take us down with her. Her sour expression darkened the vibrant colors around us. The beautiful scenery seemed to lose its luster, overshadowed by her palpable resentment. It was heartbreaking to see her so unhappy, especially when we had hoped this trip would bring us closer together. Gone was the polite, well-behaved young lady I knew at home. In her place stood a sullen teenager, radiating resentment and hostility. It was as if the Brittany I knew had been replaced by a stranger, one who was determined to make our vacation a living nightmare. In her place stood a sullen teenager, radiating resentment and hostility. Every attempt to engage her was met with eye rolls and monosyllabic responses. It was clear that she had no intention of enjoying herself, and she was making sure we didn't either. I brushed off her behavior as typical teenage angst, hoping the change in scenery would eventually work its magic. I tried to remain optimistic, believing that the beauty of the island and the fun activities we had planned would eventually break through her defenses. I longed for the laughter and shared moments I had envisioned. I pictured us building sandcastles on the beach, exploring the island's hidden treasures, and bonding over evening bonfires. But those dreams seemed to slip further away with each passing day. Instead, I found myself walking on eggshells, bracing for the next outburst. Every interaction with Brittany felt like navigating a minefield, never knowing what would set her off. The tension was taking its toll on all of us, and the stress was beginning to overshadow the joy we had hoped to find. The tension was palpable, casting a dark shadow over our once promising vacation. The island's beauty was still there, but it was marred by the constant undercurrent of conflict. Our dream vacation was quickly turning into a nightmare, and I couldn't help but wonder if we would ever find a way to salvage it. Brittany was a master manipulator. Her tactics were subtle, yet incredibly effective. She knew exactly which buttons to push to get a reaction from her father and me. Her weapon of choice? Guilt. Every interaction became a carefully orchestrated performance. She'd pout and sulk, claiming I was excluding her from activities. If I tried to include her, she'd accuse me of trying too hard. It was a no-win situation. Brittany's manipulation extended beyond our immediate family. She would call her aunts and uncles, painting me as the wicked stepmother who was ruining their vacation. These carefully crafted lies, delivered with crocodile tears, served to turn Mark's family against me. The lies Brittany spun were like venomous spiders, their webs ensnaring everyone around us. Each deceitful thread she wove seemed to tighten the bonds of mistrust and suspicion within our family, creating an atmosphere so thick with tension that it was almost palpable. She accused me of being controlling, of trying to dictate every aspect of her life. She painted me as a tyrant, someone who wanted to micromanage her every move. She claimed I favored my own children over her, that I was biased and unfair. Brittany's words were like daggers, each one aimed at the heart of our family unity. She claimed I was trying to isolate her from her father, to turn him against her. She said I was manipulating him, driving a wedge between them, to turn him against her. Her accusations were relentless, each one more damaging than the last. These were not just harmless white lies. They were calculated attacks, designed to undermine my relationship with Mark and his family. Brittany's fabrications were like poison, slowly seeping into the cracks of our family foundation. They were calculated attacks, designed to undermine my relationship with Mark and his family. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she did it with a cold, calculated precision that was chilling to witness. The worst part? They were believable. Brittany had a way of making her lies sound like the truth. She was convincing, persuasive, and she knew how to play on people's emotions. After all, who expects a teenage girl to be capable of such malicious deceit? Her innocent appearance and youthful charm made it easy for her to deceive those around her. Her most cunning lie involved a missing bracelet. It was a piece of jewelry that held sentimental value, a gift from Mark to me. Brittany claimed she had left it on the dresser in our shared room, only to find it gone later that day. She made a scene, accusing me of taking it out of spite, only to find it gone later that day. She insinuated that I had taken it, planting seeds of doubt in Mark's mind. Her performance was Oscar-worthy, complete with tears and dramatic gestures. She insinuated that I had taken it, planting seeds of doubt in Mark's mind. He began to question my integrity, my honesty. It was heartbreaking to see the trust between us erode because of her lies. The truth? I later found it tucked away in her suitcase, hidden beneath a pile of clothes. It was a silent testament to her deceitful nature, a clear indication of her willingness to go to any lengths to get what she wanted. A silent testament to her deceitful nature. Confronting her was a turning point. It was then that I realized the depth of her manipulation, the extent of her willingness to destroy our family for her own gain. The lies Brittany spun were not just fabrications, they were weapons, and they cut deep. Brittany's manipulations took a heavy toll on my marriage. Mark, torn between his daughter and me, seemed lost in a fog of confusion and doubt. He couldn't, or wouldn't, see the truth. The constant tension created a chasm between us. We argued more frequently, our words laced with resentment and pain. The joy we once shared seemed like a distant memory. I felt isolated and alone, trapped in a nightmare of my own. The once unbreakable bond we shared was fraying at the edges, threatening to unravel completely. I loved Mark deeply, but I didn't know how much more I could take. I was drowning in a sea of lies and manipulation, and I desperately needed a lifeline. In the midst of the storm, I turned to my faith. Every night, after Mark and Brittany were asleep, I would slip out onto the balcony, the starlit sky my only companion. I poured out my heart to God, tears streaming down my face, my voice choked with anguish. Prayer became my sanctuary, my source of strength. In the silence of the night, I found solace and guidance. The Bible, once a source of comfort, now became a lifeline. I clung to its words, seeking wisdom and understanding. Through prayer and reflection, I began to see my situation with new eyes. I realized that while I couldn't control Brittany's behavior, I could control my reaction to it. I could choose to respond with grace and strength, rather than anger and resentment. Section 6. Echoes of Strength. Biblical inspiration for the modern stepmom. As I delved deeper into scripture, I found myself drawn to the story of David. David, a shepherd boy who became a king, faced insurmountable odds. His journey was fraught with danger, betrayal, and immense challenges. Yet, he never wavered in his faith. Here was a man who faced giants, battled enemies, and endured betrayal. His life was a testament to resilience and unwavering faith. David's story is not just about his victories, but also about his struggles and how he overcame them with God's help. Yet, through it all, he remained steadfast in his faith, drawing strength from God. His unwavering belief in a higher power gave him the courage to face his fears and the wisdom to navigate through his trials. David's story resonated with me on a profound level. As a stepmom, I often find myself in situations where I feel overwhelmed and outnumbered. The challenges of blending families, dealing with past hurts, and building new relationships can feel like facing giants. I, too, was facing a giant of manipulation, lies, and deceit. The complexities of stepfamily dynamics can sometimes feel like an insurmountable obstacle. But David's story reminded me that with faith, I could find the strength to overcome these challenges. Like David, I needed to find the courage to stand my ground, to fight for my marriage and my family. It wasn't just about enduring the hardships, but about actively seeking solutions and fostering love and understanding within my family. The Bible reminded me that I was not alone in my struggles. The stories of faith and perseverance within its pages provided a roadmap for navigating my own challenges. They offered a sense of solidarity and hope. Countless men and women throughout history had faced similar challenges. Their stories, filled with trials and triumphs, showed me that adversity is a part of the human experience, but so is resilience and faith. Their stories, filled with resilience and faith, gave me hope that I, too, could overcome this adversity. The Bible's teachings became a source of strength, guiding me through the complexities of being a stepmom and helping me build a loving, united family. Section 7. United We Stand. A call for stepmom solidarity. My experience with Brittany, though painful, taught me a valuable lesson. I am not alone. There are countless other stepmothers out there facing similar challenges. We are a silent sisterhood, often misunderstood and misrepresented. It's time for us to break the silence. We need to support each other, to share our stories, to offer words of encouragement and understanding. Together, we can create a community of strength and resilience, a safe haven where we can navigate the unique challenges of stepfamily life. We need to redefine what it means to be a stepmother. We are not evil villains or wicked witches. We are women who love deeply and fiercely, who are committed to building strong and healthy families. Section 8. Join the circle. Your tribe awaits. If you are a stepmother struggling with similar challenges, please know that you are not alone. There are resources available to support you, to guide you through the turbulent waters of stepfamily life. Reach out to other stepmothers, join online support groups, seek professional guidance. Together, we can create a network of support, a sisterhood of strength. Remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy of love and respect. Don't let anyone, not even a manipulative stepdaughter, tell you otherwise. Section 9. With gratitude. A heartfelt thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. It is my hope that by sharing my experience, I can help other stepmothers who may be facing similar challenges. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can overcome any obstacle. May God bless you and your families. May God